The night on Zerath 9 was silent. The wind moved slowly across the black sand, carrying the smell of burnt metal. Above the ruined land, broken ships lay like dead beasts. Fires were weak now, only small red lights against the cold, dark sky. The war was over, but something was still alive. Inside a fallen ship, a small alien pup hid under a broken wing. Its fur was soft and silver. Its eyes were wide and full of fear. It had not eaten for 2 days. Its body shook with the cold. It pressed its little paw against a round metal device tied to its neck. That was all it had left from its family. The others were gone, destroyed. The pup was alone. Every sound outside made it jump. The world was dangerous now. Machines hunted everything that moved. The pup had learned to stay quiet, very quiet. But tonight it heard something new. A deep humming. A sound it had never heard before. Above the sky a light appeared through the dust clouds. It was bright and white, cutting through the dark like a sword. The pup crawled closer to a small hole in the broken wall. Through it saw a ship landing. This ship was different, clean, shiny, and on the side strange letters glowed, letters from Earth. Humans. The pup's heart beat fast. It had heard stories about humans from its parents. They were powerful. They were dangerous. They came from far away, and they did not belong here. The pup took a step back. Fear filled its small chest. The ship landed slowly on the black sand. Dust rose around it. The engines went silent. A door opened with a soft hiss. 5 humans walked out in heavy suits, their boots sinking into the sand. Lights on their helmets shined like small stars. One of them raised a scanner. Another carried a box. They moved like hunters, but calm. Careful. The pup hid deeper in the shadows. It pressed its small body against the cold metal. Don't move, it told itself in its own mind. They can't find you. Then a sound echoed through the night. A human voice, soft, gentle. We're not here to hurt you. The pup's eyes went wide. Did they know it was there? How? One of the humans, a tall woman with a red light on her shoulder, knelt down. She took off her helmet slowly, letting her warm breath fill the cold air. Her face was pale, her eyes kind. She held out her hand and spoke again. We're here to help. The pup's little claws scratched the floor nervously. It didn't move. It didn't trust. Humans had weapons. Humans had ships. But this human's voice did not sound like the drones. It did not sound like war. It sounded safe. The woman opened the box. A soft smell spread in the air. Warm food. The pup sniffed. Its empty stomach growled loudly. Too loud. The woman's head turned toward the noise. There you are, she whispered. Another human raised a small light and pointed it toward the wreck. The beam touched the dark corner. The pup froze. For a moment, everything was silent again. No wind, no engines, only the sound of the pup's breathing. The woman took one slow step forward, then another. She did not raise a gun. She only kept her hand out. Come here, she said softly. It's okay, the pup trembled. It wanted to run. It wanted to hide. But its legs were weak, and the warm smell of food filled its nose. It made one tiny step forward. Behind the woman, the other humans watched quietly. No one made a sound. The night seemed to hold its breath. Another step. And another. The pup came close enough to see her face clearly now. She had a small scar near her lip, and eyes like the morning sky. She slowly placed a piece of food on the ground. The pup lowered its head and sniffed. Then, with a shaking paw, it touched the food. It was real, warm, good. The pup ate a small piece. Then it looked at the woman again. She smiled. Not a big smile. Just enough to say, "You are safe." But the moment felt too perfect. Too quiet. Far away beyond the hills of sand, something moved. The ground shook a little. A thin red light flashed across the night sky. The humans didn't notice it yet, but the pup did. It had seen that light before. The hunters were coming. The pup stepped back fast, ears flat, teeth showing. The woman looked confused for a second. Then she heard it too, a low metallic sound like a machine waking up. She stood up and turned to her team. "Get ready," she said in a firm voice. The human ship's lights grew brighter. The team moved quickly, forming a line. Weapons came out. Scanners beeped. The pup's heart raced. It didn't know what to do. Trust these strange humans, or run into the dark again. The woman turned her head back and met the pup's eyes. She didn't speak. But something in her face said, "Stay with us." The night was no longer quiet. The hunt had begun, and the little pup's life was about to change forever. The night sky of Zerath 9 grew louder. The quiet wind was now mixed with a sharp humming sound. The red light in the distance grew brighter. Something was coming fast. The humans stood in a half circle around the landing zone. Their helmets shined like stars against the dark sand. Their captain, a strong man with a black beard and calm voice, spoke quickly into his radio. "Drones approaching. 20 seconds. Stay sharp." The woman with kind eyes took one last look at the small alien pup. It stood half-hidden behind the metal wing, its fur glowing faintly in the ship's light. Fear lived inside those silver eyes, but there was also a spark of something new. Trust. She crouched down again and whispered, "Hey, little one. It's okay. We won't hurt you." Her voice was soft even with the danger coming closer. The pup's heart pounded. The sound of the drones was clear now, sharp clicks like metal teeth. The pup remembered this sound well. It was the sound of death. The captain raised his hand. Team formed defense line. Shields up. Energy shields glimmered blue as they activated. The woman opened a small pack on her belt. She pulled out a soft blanket and moved closer to the pup. "Come on," she said gently. The pup hesitated. Behind it, the broken ship was no longer safe. In front, the humans waited, dangerous, but maybe safe. The pup stepped out slowly, its little paws making no sound on the sand. The woman knelt lower, holding the blanket like a warm nest. When the pup reached her, she wrapped it carefully. The pup trembled but didn't bite. It smelled the warmth of her suit. Strange but safe. Above them, red lights cut through the night. 3 drones flew low, their metal wings moving silently. They were shaped like spiders, with long arms and glowing eyes. Their scanners swept across the land. "Targets locked," the captain said coldly. The drones dropped down, landing on the sand with heavy thuds. Their metal legs dug into the ground. Their red eyes turned toward the humans. And the pup. The woman held the pup close. She could feel its heart beating fast under the blanket. She whispered, "Hang on, little one." The captain gave the order. Fire, blasters roared. Blue light flashed across the night. The first drone exploded into a rain of metal. The second jumped back, firing a red beam that hit the shield. The air shook. The pup yelped and buried its head in the woman's arm. But she didn't let go. She ran behind a rock, holding the pup tight. The other humans moved fast. One rolled to the side, shooting from a low angle. Another threw a shock grenade. The explosion lit the sand like lightning. The third drone fell, sparks flying from its broken chest, but one was still alive. It jumped high into the air and aimed at the woman and the pup. The woman closed her eyes. Then a loud blast. The captain stood in front of her, his blaster smoking. The drone fell to the ground, split in 2. "Stay with the team," he said firmly. She nodded. The battlefield went quiet again. Only the wind remained. Metal pieces lay burning in the sand. But the danger wasn't over. This attack was only the beginning. The captain turned to the pup. Its ears were flat, its body shaking. He wasn't used to seeing something so small, so fragile in the middle of war. But then he saw it. The metal device around the pup's neck. It glowed softly. He stepped closer. "What is that?" he asked. The woman touched the device carefully. A blue light blinked, and a soft, pulsing sound filled the air. It wasn't a bomb. It was something else. Something old. "It's a signal beacon," she whispered. The captain frowned. "A beacon? To what?" Before anyone could answer, the pup let out a low cry. The sound wasn't just fear. It was pain. The beacon on its neck flashed faster. A small hologram appeared, a map of stars. The team looked at each other. They understood now this pup wasn't just some lost creature. It carried something powerful, something that others wanted. The captain spoke softly. "If the drones are after this, then we're in the middle of something big." The woman looked down at the pup. It looked back at her with tired eyes. In that moment, she knew she couldn't leave it behind. She couldn't walk away. She whispered, "We'll keep you safe. I promise." The captain opened his radio again. "Eagle 1, prepare for liftoff. We have something valuable. We're bringing it in." The ship's door opened with a soft hiss. The team moved quickly. 2 soldiers carried the metal box with drone parts. One scanned the sky. The woman held the pup close to her chest, feeling its weak heartbeat. They climbed the ramp and entered the ship. The lights inside were warm and gold, different from the cold outside. The pup blinked, its eyes wide. It had never seen a place like this. Safe, bright, almost home. As the engine started, the captain spoke one last line. "Whatever this little creature is, it just changed our mission." Outside in the darkness, more red lights appeared, but the ship was already rising. And for the first time, the alien pup felt a small piece of hope. The engines of the human ship roared to life. The landing ramp closed behind the team with a heavy clank. Inside the ship, everything shook as the thrusters pushed against the black sand of Zirath-9. The small alien pup was wrapped in a warm blanket in the woman's arms. Its big silver eyes stared at the metal walls around it. The sound of the engines was loud but steady. For the first time in days, the pup wasn't outside in the cold, but the feeling of safety didn't last long. A loud alarm rang across the ship. "Warning! Incoming hostiles," the computer voice said. The captain moved to the control room fast. "Everyone, battle stations. Drones are on our tail." Through the ship's wide window, dark shapes appeared in the sky. 5 drones and fast, black and hungry for blood. Their red eyes glowed like fire in the night. Their sharp metal wings cut through the air. The woman held the pup closer. She could feel its small heart beating fast again. "It's okay, little one," she whispered. But deep down, she knew this was not okay. This was war. The captain spoke into the radio. "Prepare counterfire. Shields at full power. Let's get out of here." The pilot, a young man with calm hands, pulled the ship higher into the black clouds. The drones followed like shadows. Their red beams flashed, hitting the back shields. The ship shook hard. The pup cried out. The woman almost lost her balance but held onto the wall. "Stay down," a soldier shouted. Blue energy sparked behind the ship. The shields were holding, but not for long. "They're faster than us," the pilot said. The captain's jaw tightened. "Then we fight." 2 soldiers ran to the gun stations. Cannons came out from the sides of the ship. The night sky filled with light. Blue blasts from the humans and red fire from the drones. The first drone flew too close. A clean shot hit its core. Boom! It exploded into a shower of metal. The pup flinched and covered its face with its small paws. But the woman gently stroked its head. "You're safe," she whispered. 4 drones remained. They moved like wolves, fast and smart. One circled to the side and fired at the engine. The ship shook again. A red warning flashed on the captain's screen. "Engine damage. We can't take much more of this." The woman knelt and looked at the pup. Its necklace device was blinking again, faster now. She touched it softly. The blinking slowed like it was responding to her hand. "What is this thing?" she whispered. The captain turned his head. "Whatever it is, it's the reason they're chasing us." The largest drone flew above the ship, locking onto the engine. The pilot cursed under his breath. "They're going for a kill shot." The woman felt the pup move. It jumped out of her arms and landed on the floor with a small thud. "Hey, wait!" she called out. The pup ran toward the front of the ship, toward the control panel. Everyone stared in surprise. Its tiny paw touched the necklace, then pressed it against the floor. A soft blue wave spread through the ship like a heartbeat. The drone suddenly stopped for a second, confused. Then the blue wave hit them like invisible wind. Their red lights flickered. One lost control and fell toward the sand below. "What did it just do?" The pilot gasped. The captain didn't answer. He just shouted, "Take the chance! Hit them now!" The soldiers fired everything. One drone after another exploded in bright red flames. Only one remained, flying close, spinning fast. It hit the side of the ship with a hard blow. The walls shook. Sparks flew from the ceiling. The pup fell, but the woman rushed forward and caught it. "Got you," she whispered. The last drone crawled on the hull like an insect. Its claws dug into the metal. A red light blinked on its chest. It was trying to cut its way in. The captain grabbed a blaster and opened the emergency hatch. Cold wind rushed inside. He aimed carefully. The drone turned toward him with glowing red eyes. For a second, everything slowed down. Then, bang! A clean shot straight into the drone's core. It exploded and fell into the dark clouds below. The captain closed the hatch. The wind stopped. The alarms grew silent. The only sound left was the steady hum of the ship. The pilot smiled weakly. "We made it for now." The woman sat down on the floor with the pup in her lap. It was breathing fast but alive. She stroked its fur gently. "You're stronger than you look," she said softly. The captain walked over. He looked at the pup, then at the glowing necklace. "This little thing just saved our lives," he said. The woman nodded. "Yeah, but why?" The captain stared at the star map that the beacon was projecting. There was something strange about it. One star in the map was blinking brighter than the rest. A hidden location. A destination. "Because," the captain whispered, "it wants us to go somewhere." Outside, the night sky was calm again, but the team knew more drones would come. The hunt wasn't over. The real mission was only beginning. The woman held the pup close again. Its small head rested against her chest. For the first time, she felt something more than fear. She felt a promise to protect this tiny life. No matter what came next, the human ship floated quietly through the dark sky. The battle with the drones was over, but the memory of it was still heavy in the air. Inside the ship, the lights were low and warm. The crew moved fast, checking controls, fixing damage, and watching the radar carefully. The woman sat in the med bay with the small alien pup in her lap. It was wrapped in a clean blanket, its fur soft and glowing faintly. Its big silver eyes looked around the strange room. Metal walls, soft lights, strange smells. But for the first time, it wasn't shaking with fear. It was tired but calm. The captain walked in, his boots making soft sounds on the floor. He looked at the pup, then at the glowing beacon around its neck. "Here's time to find out what this thing really is," he said. A young technician entered, carrying a scanning tablet. She connected it to the medbay's main screen. The woman gently lifted the pup and placed it on a small scanning bed. The pup tilted its head, confused but quiet. "Scanning now," the technician said. A soft blue light moved across the pup's body and over the beacon. Numbers and symbols appeared on the big screen. The beacon began to blink faster, as if it could feel the scan. "Strange," the technician whispered. "This is not human tech. It's much older." The captain stepped closer. "What do you see?" The screen zoomed in on the beacon's core. A 3D map appeared. It wasn't just a star map. It was a message, the woman gasped. "It's showing coordinates. To another planet." A bright point on the map blinked again and again. Around it, strange alien symbols formed a ring. The technician tried to translate. Her eyes widened as she read the first words. "It says, 'The last light.'" The room grew silent. Everyone stared at the screen. The captain's voice was low. "This isn't just a lost animal. This pup is carrying a key." The pup looked up at them, its silver eyes shining softly. It didn't understand their words, but it could feel their energy. Serious, intense, different from before. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The radar beeped once. A long signal came through. Someone was tracking them. The captain's jaw tightened. "They're not done with us." The woman wrapped her arms around the pup again. "Then we can't stay here. We have to keep moving." The pilot's voice came through the intercom. "Captain, I have a strange transmission." "It's coming from inside the ship." The captain froze. "Inside?" The technician checked the signal. Her face turned pale. "It's a beacon reply. Someone on board sent out a location." Everyone looked at each other, a spy. Someone in the crew wasn't who they said they were. The captain gave a sharp order. "Lock all doors. No one leaves their station." The woman held the pup close. It felt the tension, its ears going flat against its head. It gave a small, scared sound. The woman whispered, "It's okay. I've got you." The captain turned to her. "They're coming for the pup. We need to protect it at all costs." The technician opened a panel on the beacon. Her fingers moved carefully. Inside was a core crystal glowing with a soft blue light. "It's ancient," she said. "Maybe thousands of years old. This little creature's people, they must have been powerful." The captain asked quietly, "And why would the drones want it?" The technician swallowed hard. "Because this beacon isn't just a map. It's also a key to something big." The woman looked at the pup. It was looking back at her with trusting eyes. "Then we can't let them take it." The captain nodded slowly. "No, we won't." Outside the window, the stars passed by like white fire. The ship moved through deep space, heading toward the blinking point on the map. But the danger was getting closer. Suddenly, the lights went red. An alarm screamed. "Intruder detected," the ship's AI said. The woman spun around, her heart racing. Down the hall, a figure in a black suit moved fast. It wasn't part of the team. It held a small transmitter, the source of the signal. "Stop him!" The captain shouted. The soldiers ran after the figure. The woman shielded the pup with her body. The figure threw a smoke bomb. The hallway filled with grey fog. Laser beams flashed. The ship shook as the fight spread through the corridor. The technician shouted from behind the console. "Captain! If they take the pup, they'll find the last light before us." The captain moved forward fast, blaster ready. One clean shot. The figure fell to the floor. The transmitter dropped and rolled away. The red lights turned off. The alarm went silent. Only the heavy breathing of the crew filled the air. The captain picked up the transmitter. He crushed it in his hand. No more signals. The woman slowly stood up, the pup still in her arms. It looked scared but alive. The beacon on its neck glowed brighter now, as if it knew something was coming. The captain spoke firmly. "We follow the map. We find the last light, and we make sure no one else gets there first." Outside in the black sea of stars, something huge moved in the distance. A shadow, a ship much bigger than theirs. The enemy was close, and the pup was their only hope. The black sea of space was silent, but the silence was dangerous. Far behind the small human ship, a massive enemy vessel was moving closer. It was shaped like a dark blade, with red lights glowing like eyes. Inside, hundreds of drones waited for a single command. The human crew knew the fight was not over. It was just beginning. Inside the control room, alarms flashed. The radar showed the enemy ship gaining speed. The captain stood tall, staring at the blinking red dot on the screen. "They found us," he said quietly. The woman held the small alien pup close to her chest. The pup's beacon was glowing brighter than ever, like a small star. Its silver eyes looked up at her, tired but determined. It was shaking, not just from fear, but from something inside the beacon. Something was waking up. The technician checked the readings. "Captain," she said, "the beacon is reacting to the enemy signal. It's preparing something." The captain narrowed his eyes. "Preparing what?" "I don't know," she whispered. "But the energy levels are rising fast." The pilot shouted from the front, "They'll be in firing range in 2 minutes." The woman looked at the pup. It looked back at her as if it understood what was happening. Its species may have been hunted, but they were not weak. This pup carried the last gift of its people. The captain spoke calmly but firmly. "Everyone, battle positions. We protect the pup and the beacon at all costs." The crew moved quickly. Shields charged, weapons powered up. But they all knew they couldn't win a full fight against a ship that big. The pup climbed out of the woman's arms and stood on the glowing control panel. Its tiny paw touched the beacon. A blue light spread through the entire ship. The screens filled with ancient symbols. The technician gasped. "It's activating something. Something big." Outside the window, the stars seemed to shift. A ring of blue light formed around the ship. The captain's eyes widened. "What is this?" The woman whispered, "It's the last light." The enemy ship opened fire. Red beams shot across the dark sky. The shields shook under the impact. The floor trembled. Sparks fell from the ceiling. "Shields at 50%. The pilot yelled, "We can't take this for long." But the pup didn't stop. Its silver fur glowed brighter and brighter. The beacon on its neck pulsed like a beating heart. Then a voice filled the ship. Not human, not machine. It was soft, ancient. "The last light will not fall." The blue ring outside exploded into a brilliant shield. The enemy beams hit it and scattered like dust. The enemy ship fired again. Nothing got through. The crew stared in shock. The pup stood in the center of the bridge, glowing like a star. The woman whispered, "It's protecting us." But the captain knew something else too. The pup's body was shaking. Using the beacon was draining it fast. It couldn't hold the shield forever. "We need to end this now," the captain said. He turned to the pilot. "Full power. Head straight at their command ship." The pilot looked at him like he was crazy. "That's suicide." "No," the captain said. "That's our only chance." The ship roared forward. The enemy ship grew larger on the screen. The blue shield around the human ship burned brighter and brighter. The technician found something on the map. "Captain! The beacon has one more function. It's not just a shield, it's a weapon." The woman gasped. "A weapon?" The technician nodded. It can release an energy wave, enough to disable their fleet. The captain looked at the pup. Its eyes were glowing, but its little body was weak. "It's too much for it," the woman whispered. "It might not survive." The captain lowered his voice. "We give it a choice." The woman knelt next to the pup. She touched its soft head gently. "It's your decision, little one. You don't have to do this." The pup looked up at her. Its eyes were tired, but there was no fear, only courage. It touched the beacon with its paw one last time. The beacon exploded with light. A wave of blue energy rushed through space like a storm. The enemy ship shook violently. Their red lights went out one by one. The drones powered down, floating like broken toys. The entire fleet fell silent. Inside the human ship, everything went still. No alarms, no firing. Only light. The beacon stopped glowing. The pup collapsed in the woman's arms. She held it tightly, tears filling her eyes. "Stay with me," she whispered. The captain walked over slowly. He placed his hand on the pup's small head. "It saved us all," he said softly. The technician checked the readings. "The enemy fleet is completely disabled. We won." The woman looked down at the little creature. Its breathing was weak, but still there. A soft blue spark shone from its necklace, alive. The captain smiled slightly. "It's a fighter." The ship floated quietly in space. The stars around them glimmered like diamonds. For the first time since they landed on Zerath 9, the crew felt safe. The woman whispered to the pup, "You're not alone anymore. You have us now." The captain looked out at the stars. "Humanity came here for a rescue mission," he said. "But today we became part of something bigger." Far away, the map on the screen showed the last light's location, glowing brighter. A promise. A beginning. The little pup, the last of its kind, had found a new family, and the galaxy would never be the same again.